Let's go to the comedy one, and then we'll go on to the last abstract top. So the comedy one is TSM. And the reason why I say this, right, is obviously I would say that anyway for comedic relief. But it genuinely is comedy because, first of all, it's the old saying that we have in England. It's a comedy of errors to start with. Like, as Rich says, how do you ever, by the way, fuck up so badly that your number one Stockholm Syndrome victim, Bjergsen, who's wasted his whole prime in your team and even become a fucking coach? By the way, spoiler, did I call that or did I fucking call that? Because not only did I say it would be a terrible move to put him as a coach and he wouldn't be the best coach in year one, all I'll say is this: go look at those drafts, right, that stopped them from getting a Worlds. Chef's kiss, Bjergsen. Fucking amazing, my dude. Secondly, that thing that Crumbz just said there, where Bjergsen's sort of like, yeah, it was kind of hard though, knowing that, you know, I could do things better than those players. This is why you don't sign superstar players as fucking coaches. Because, spoiler, Michael Jordan literally did that, if people don't know. He literally was like I think it was like president of operations at the Washington Wizards. And one year, no joke, he just looked at the team and went, I should just really play shooting guard instead of letting these guys play. Like, this is the opposite of a coach's mentality. A coach can never think that thought. That should never be allowed to enter your brain, beyond maybe if you used it as some sort of weird, like, motivational angle. Listen, it'd be one thing if instead, Crumbz, it wasn't like, oh, I saw PoE doing this, or I played him in the, you know, like, fucking solo queue and thought, he's not that good. It'd be a cool story if it was like, right, I went and I did a bunch of 1v1s privately with PoE and I leveled him up and his matchup got better. That'd be a sick story. The Bjergsen story's terrible because it implies to me like he never fully, like, sort of understood or bought in to the coaching philosophy. So I hate that angle itself. So not only do you let him go and he doesn't even play mid lane for you this season, but then what do you get in response? Like, they've got fucking nothing. The joke is, you know, all those idiot fans who are doing that thing where they're going, haha, Thorin's nightmare. Imagine if Reckless joined TSM. One, you don't even know what the gag would be there, you fucking morons. I would love Reckless to join TSM. Use your brain, you cretins. They're not going to win Worlds, are they? Like, I'm just going to double up on all the abuse, you utter moron. If they actually wanted someone, logically, you should want my favourite player to join TSM, you cretin. The joke doesn't work otherwise. Why would I hate? Yeah, I'd hate it if all my favourite players I hate joined TSM and then failed, Rich. Fuck, egg on my face there. What would I say? I'd have unlimited material, you morons. But anyway, put that to one side. They didn't even get a Reckless. Dude, they got nobody. Like, if people don't know, at the moment, right, they keep Hooney and Spicker. By the way, totally fine for their roles relative to the status. Remember, Hooney's an NA resident. Spicker was the MVP. Those are fine. But then the rumour is they get Fate. Yeah, that Fate. The fucking nobody from Korea. And they get Tactical. That's right, Tactical is coming from fucking Team Liquid, who I think he should have been booted off. Somehow he finds a home on TSM. By the way, that's going to be another year, Reginald, you're going to regret not just saying sorry to Double Lift and asking him to come back very nicely, because it ain't going to work well. And then, obviously, the logic is you don't even get to keep Sword Art, because he basically took the motherfucking bag that he never should have had and just fucked off like the Grinch who stole Christmas and just took all of those FTX dollars everyone was bragging about. And then that leaves you with the one move I think is actually a pretty sick move, which is bizarrely Mickeyx just had nowhere that wanted to buy him, and you've got Mickeyx, okay, pretty cool. And then obviously the other angle, if people don't know, because a lot of people didn't focus on this, is as your coach, one of the weirdest moves I've ever seen, you've brought Choi, who used to be years and years at the beginning of League of Legends, a pretty good, like, singer, I believe he's from Singapore or Taiwan, one of the two, as a guy who used to be a pretty good mid laner. If people know, he even played in, like, I think season 6 or something, like, for some decent, I think he was maybe on AHQ or something, I can't remember which squad he played for, Hong Kong Attitude, one of the two. Basically, you've made all these mad moves. You've done like a Cloud9, but I don't even know why you've done the moves, basically. So give me some thoughts on this lineup, Crumbz, because this one I think is like one of the maddest off-season assemblings I've ever seen.
I think TL just dicked down TSM this season. That's really what happened. You got Tactical instead of Jensen, and you were both bidding for the coach Yota, and you still lost that one too. And you've yet to apologize to Double, you're not getting that back. So I think TSM really messed up this one and just ended up with a lot of second options that didn't seem like they were really the one that made the most sense. Mickeyx, yeah, that's fine. But what is your mid lane? Like, you really need a mid lane to round out this team, because if you get somebody with a playstyle, again, like PoE, that doesn't have the flexibility that you're used to from Bjergsen, you're just going to finish in the same spot you did last year. So I don't think that this team necessarily is going to go any higher if the mid laner isn't at least better than PoE. Who is better than PoE that is available right now? You have to go with Jensen. The only answer for TSM's roster to me is you need to take Jensen, or else this team is just not going anywhere.
Like, if people don't know, like, the guy, Fate, who comes from the Sandbox team, like, he was, like, a good player in Korea, etc. But again, this is the reason it's mad. If people don't... People have
Fate is the mid. Is that confirmed? Fate mid?
No, it's not. None of these are confirmed. Unless you've seen the fucking official welcome Fate, like, none of it's confirmed. It's the way Crumbz has become the Redditor watching the episode, like, live. Like, is this confirmed?
Listen,
are you confirming LS? Like, I can't... Listen, maybe Rich could. I can't confirm shit, dude. I'm just a guy like you fucking surfing Reddit going, really? Holy shit. Like, again, in this scenario, I don't have any inside info. No, but all I would say is this. The reason that move is especially laughable, because again, by the way, what he's basically doing is what Cloud9 did with their careers. You're just gambling this guy's really good. I mean, at least he did play in LCK, to be fair, and you just hoping he does awesome in LCS. The one angle I can't handle is this. If people don't know, Loco Doco told me this many times because he had the into the TSM org. TSM supposedly proudly used to say internally that they would never have Koreans or Chinese players because they were like, why the fuck would we want them? You know, it's like a joke, like they don't speak English, blah, blah, blah. Like, well, the joke is, if you were going to hold out and not get Koreans, aside from obviously when they briefly had fucking not sorted out, what's the other guy's name? What was the support player's name joined with TSM? Was
Firefrost.
Okay.
No, fuck. Who was it back in the day with Wild Turtle? Ah, shit, I'm forgetting now. It was the guy who played in Azubu Blaze, if people remember. Fuck, I can't remember the name now.
Okay, I got something for TSM though, actually. I just remembered why Chaovi makes sense. I actually think they're going to go with Takeover. Takeover is the mid laner from their academy team. This guy is good. Okay. This guy is really good, all right? He's not LCK or LPL. He's from Taiwan. He's from this region. So they've been actually signing a lot of people from this region from last year. This guy crushed Academy harder than any other mid laner I've seen in a while. Like, this guy is actually very talented. So if they upgrade him and it can work with the coaching staff, this could actually be surprisingly strong. I completely forgot about that. He is a pretty bright star. I think Takeover could be a really strong mid laner that they just lucked out on since nobody else really seemed to be looking in that region.
That connection at least makes sense if they do indeed sign Choice. By the way, the name I was searching for was Lost Force. That was obviously they had him, but let's be real, they just got him because Loco brought him in to fix their team last minute. Beyond that, the idea you hold out, by the way, during the prime of Korean fucking players when they used to cost like thousands per month, that's how much they were getting paid. The idea you hold out during that period, then at the end are like, buy anyone Korean or... Like, are you fucking out your mind, you moron? Like, this just shows you how Reginald really did. It's a problem. I had to eat so much crow those first 5 years of LCS, Rich, because obviously he was winning all the time. He was in every final. But I was just like, wait, bide your time. Bide your time. And in the long run, you've just seen where Reginald's brain is at in the game. In fact, if people don't realise, one of the actual best things he probably did in his org to some degree was when he would rarely delegate to other people. When he had people like Jack in his org, maybe even, I don't know, it's debatable, people like Lena might have done something on the sponsorships and marketing side. He had people like Local Door. He had some people over time who could maybe have helped him. I think now you're just going to see the true, like, fucking madness of King George era of Reginald, where this guy's just off the reservation completely. And I don't know what the fuck he's doing. It's like he thinks these are all fucking, like, mad haymaker. Like, he's calling his shot, like, I'm hitting out the park. It's like, you're not even in a park or playing a sport. You're just on a fucking park bench somewhere. You're in it and you're sort of dreaming that season 5. You fucking moron. What is this team?
Reggie is basically like, obviously Sam has more help and smarter people around him, I guess. But I mean, Reginald is basically a North American Sam Matthews, where again, TSM had a huge multi-lap lead on the rest of the competition. So for the first however many years, it's not like, oh my God, this guy's such a genius. Look at all these wheeling and dealings he's doing. Like, he's just smurfing on everyone, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, unfortunately, because of admittedly some good decisions that were made involving the website guides and stuff like this, and obviously initial success of the roster, he is too big to ignore. Like, if you want to invest in esports in North America, you will invest in TSM in those first 5 years. You'd be stupid not to. So it's more like they get to the meeting and then this absolute clown, Reggie, is the guy they have to deal with. But he's the guy they have to deal with because they want to ultimately get the exposure that TSM gives them. Now that everyone's caught up, as you say, you're going to start to really see how good is this guy actually at GMing, because he's playing on a much more level playing field now, when it's not just a simple choice of like, yeah, obviously we want TSM. It's like, no, but what about that hoodie org? What about TL? What about Cloud9, right? So yeah, in terms of the team, what I found really funny about this rumored lineup is actually the Mickeyx deal, because to me, again, they made the exact same mistake that I said they made last year, which is you spend the big buyout money that you spend, or just the big amount of money in general that you spend to get the player, is on the lane, which is contingent on the performance of the other player, and then you get a shit player in that role. They did it last year as well with Sword Art. You spend 6 million on Sword Art and your fucking AD carries lost. Like, what is this? And you've done the exact same mistake. Yeah, Mickeyx is a great individual player, or at least has been. He wasn't really, if we're honest, when last seen in action, but he certainly has been a great high-level player. But what is Mickey not good at? What is he not known for? Communication. This guy is a mute support player, and now you're pairing him with a bad AD carry. So how much added value is your mute mechanical support player going to give the rest of the team outside of laning? Okay, well, he's a great laner. Brilliant. His AD carry's tactical. Like, this is just not where you wanted to spend the money on this team. You could spend it on, I don't know, getting Jensen for mid lane. That would seem like a better use of cash, right? So to me, the idea that they've basically made the exact same mistake 2 seasons running is just absurd. And as for the rest of the team, there's just nothing that I'm excited about. I mean, as you said, Hooney's fine in the context of North America. Speaker, yeah, sure.
That's good.
Yeah. The other pieces that have tactical miss me with that. Fate, again, I'm not an expert on this guy or his career, but it just seems like a strange one, again, when theoretically Jensen's on the table, right? I mean, what we maybe haven't really mentioned yet is maybe he's just been absolutely had by Steve, also on the aspect of, we're just going to refuse to sell to you. You guys look like you have such a fucking shit situation.
Yes.
We're just going to drill the knife deeper into you. And now your team is just irredeemably bad. Like, it's not even savable. And maybe, and people can say, oh yeah, but then they're sitting on his contract, blah, blah, blah. First of all, we don't know what's going to happen with Jensen. Maybe he gets sold, maybe he doesn't. But even if they sit on his contract, they might look at it as, sure, we're taking a financial hit, but we're murdering one of our closest oppositions in terms of, performance-wise and brand-wise in terms of, what's going to come out of this or likely come out of this. So, yeah, that could be the situation, but this is a thoroughly underwhelming roster, I would guess. I mean, they could still finish top 4. I mean, I'm not impressed with that many rosters in the league, to be honest. It's like TL and 100 Thieves seem to be like the de facto top 2, like unless something crazy happens, someone breaks a wrist or whatever. Like, I really don't see anyone, getting in on that. EG seems, as Crumbz said, that seems very dependent on aspects which seem rather coin flippish. Exactly the same for Cloud9, but they have even more aspects which I think are probably theoretically coin flippish. And then the other teams are just straight up garbage, like hot garbage, absolutely terrible. So they could still finish 4th or something, like hypothetically, but it's not a good team, and I guess they miss Worlds.
I like that angle of attacking TSM while they're down as a major organization, because last year was a failure. You just took a major piece out of them. The PR is bad. They're really struggling. Do 2 more years of this, and you might be sending them down the same track that CLG is at. So you could actually just really propel yourself up as the premier org. You win another split as TL, and you might actually accomplish that while TSM continues to put out the fire. So the moves start to make sense when you consider the context of the orgs beyond the performance and the brands.
That's why Bjergsen's fucked him completely, because that was the one reason left to play in TSM is I want to play with Bjergsen, or you think he'll win if you play with him. If you don't have that player, like, think about, as you say, think a year from now if they lose all these players and they start from scratch with their roster. Dude, TSM becomes actually not a very attractive place. There's about 3 or 4 different teams. By the way, that list gets bigger every year. Like, suddenly the 100 Thieves and the EGs of the world are on that list above you if you're TSM. Not least, by the way, and this is the ultimate delicious. Oh, it's too rich for me. I could only have a little slice right now, and I'll have to save the rest for later. Guess what, fans? You played a massive role in that, you fucking cretins, because you have created the most toxic fan base to ever exist in North American esports. And I say that in a world where fucking COD teams exist, for God's sake. So, like, you actually don't even have the cool side where it's like, well, at least they're really passionate. You're not. You just have all the morons with their stripy black and white faces who see everything in black and white and hate on your own motherfucking players. The dumbest thing about being a TSM player, it's like with Fnatic, is they don't even give you like breathing room when you leave the team the first split. They just hate you the second you put the jersey on. They love you while you're winning. The second the jersey comes off, they hate you. So you even get the hate even if you were like a legendary player. You don't even get the respect on the way out. So TSM's in a big spot. And also on that angle where people are going to go, because again, they didn't do this, but they would love to have, no doubt, TSM fans. Like, how dare you sit on a contract? Why the fuck? Who obliges me to give you my player? I'm not required to. Because here's the thing people aren't factored in there. I don't just get him for free and put him in a fucking dungeon like the Princess Bride or something, you moron. I have to pay his salary. If you're willing to pay, by the way, the salaries, because let's be real, people like Jensen and Reckless aren't idiots. Their agents are not doing them those deals that like fucking Crumbz would have been on 6 years ago, where if you get benched, you get like half your salary or less. They're on the deal where you get your it's pay or play. You get your fucking salary no matter what if you're Jensen or Reckless. So if you are an org, by the way, who's willing to tank that, what you're basically saying is that org is willing to pay a 6th player enormous star player money for a whole year to not play League of Legends. Look, I appreciate for the player it sucks that he doesn't get to play, but that org, by the way, in that scenario, it's their fucking money. They're absolutely at their own discretion to waste that money like that if they want. Or, as you imply here, maybe there's a good reason. Like in this scenario, it's like, look, all I have to do is tank 1 year worth of salary or a couple of splits, and I get rid of TSM for many years to come as an op. That might even actually have long-term value, like implied fucking value to doing that move. I don't even hate that. It's not a bad move. Same as the G2 Carlos one. It's like, look, you can have Reckless if you pay this much. If you don't, none of you can have him. I'll fucking tank him. I'll just have him doing Ralph Lauren ads. I'll have that little fucking arse going all up and down catwalks and turning around. He'll never touch a bloody mouse. Exactly, the ultimate revenge. I told Carlos to sign him for this exact reason. No, anyway, whatever. Want to see more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.